ask, it's a very niche field, voice acting in general.
Yeah.
How does one get into voice acting? That's the main thing everybody wants to know.
How does one get into voice acting? That is about a 4-hour conversation. I can give you a short answer. The short answer would be go to a website called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. Literally, this was written by D. Bradley Baker, and it is the greatest resource for the voice acting industry. I wish it had been available when I was coming in. But just go there and follow all the links, read everything he has to say. And D is one of my heroes in the voiceover industry. And he did this just as a freebie to everybody out there who's interested in it. It'll guide you through the industry and, more importantly, keep you away from people who are trying to take advantage of you. Yeah.
So, what was your first big gig that made you think, like, wow, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life? This is my career.
Oh, man. I'm not really sure when that happened because I've been doing this for so long and I did it for fun. I think probably the first gig I did gave me that bug, and it was a show called The Guyver. And I literally came in to audition only because I had the deepest voice in a mailroom where I was working. And the first thing I did was a creature voice. I just went in with, and from that moment, I was kind of hooked. And I just did it for fun for many, many years while I worked several other careers. And then I think the show that was really a benchmark in my career, I didn't know it at the time, it was called Cowboy Bebop, and I was the voice of Spike Spiegel. That led to so many other things like Megas XLR and Tom from Toonami and many, many other things in my career. And I think when it really started hitting that I was actually possibly going to be able to make a career out of this, because Bebop paid almost nothing, was during the time when I started working on Wolverine. And
It was amazing, by the way. It was one of those, I think it was one of the underrated cartoons that just, like, I wanted to see more seasons.
oh,
Like, I watched, if I'm going to be 100% honest, I watched, like, episode 1 and 2 and was used to the animated series, and then I was just hooked.
wow,
So,
cool.
what happened with that, like, with the Wolverine and the X-Men?
Well, first of all, thanks for liking the show, Bub, because we all loved it a lot. It broke our hearts. It was one of those things where it was a political issue. It was the rights were being held and not released from one company to the next. And it's traded hands. That franchise has traded hands many, many times over now. So it's still in limbo. I've voiced Wolverine many, many times over the last 12 years. And every single time I voiced him, I have to re-audition because it's a different production company. Marvel licenses it out to different companies. Right now, I think Fox holds the rights, and I'm not even allowed to work as Wolverine right now. So,
Oh, really? Why is that?
yeah, well, Fox is not allowing it until they're done with the movie franchise.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, it's their right. They own the rights to it. So I
So
can't
in
say anything.
Limbo, there is a possibility that maybe something in the future, like, I mean, there's always a possibility, probably.
I would love to see Wolverine and the X-Men come back. They actually had 9 more episodes written. They were about to go into the Age of Apocalypse. And we were all gigantic fans of the show. Everybody that worked on it were huge fans of Wolverine and everybody associated with Wolverine. And we were all brokenhearted that it stopped. And I would love to see that come back. There's actually been a movement to get 1 million people behind it to bring back the show. But it's more complicated than that. It would indeed be a legal issue at this point.
So jumping to the DC universe,
Yeah.
you've done a lot of work with Warner Brothers Animation Studios.
Yes.
But you often fall into the role of the villain, it seems, in the DC world. Is
Yeah.
that purposeful, and would we ever expect to see you as a more heroic role?
Dude, I'd play anything they'd pay me for, honestly. I'm a voiceover whore. I don't know if you can say that in here, but I am.
Of course.
I am. Yeah, I love the whole genre, really. So I have played a bunch of heroes, too. And I've got some more DC heroes that I'm playing right now that I can't talk about. So I'm certainly not against playing the heroes, but it's fun to play the bad guys. I mean, doing I am entropy, I am death, I am dark side. I mean, that's fulfilling in a really terrible way. So.
What's your favorite villain that you've played thus far?
Oh man, I've gotten to play so many good ones. It's hard to say. First one that comes to mind in recent history would be Amon from Legend of Korra,
Okay.
just because he was so understated and chilling, and that freaks me out more than somebody who's overtly evil. Yeah, that's probably the most recent one, but that's been most of my career is playing bad boys.
So in the studio, I've noticed there's different types of voice actors. There's some voice actors that go behind, behind the microphone, and they just are able to read the script and get into character. And then there's others that literally act out what they're doing behind the mic. What kind of
Yes.
voice actor would you describe describe yourself?
I kind of do it both ways. I am a very organic actor. I didn't have classical training, so I don't have to deal with the method issues that come up for some actors. I don't have to, get my face a certain way or live in the character for too long. I can literally look at something on a page and dive right in. That said, I also throw punches. Every time I'm voicing Wolverine, every that you hear, there's a punch behind that. So at the end of those sessions, my whole body is racked. I feel like I've got broken and displaced bones and I have to heal. So it's a nice combination of both.
Do you think video games and the rise of the story in video games really kind of spiked voice actors' careers in general? I know that's been like a prominent thing over the past 15 years. Maybe story became a part of like, I guess, the interactive gaming world.
Yeah, well, gaming has changed a lot in my lifetime, and I'm really thankful that they have become so cinematic and story-driven. And it's opened up a whole new world for voice actors. A large part of my career is in the video gaming industry. I've done over 300 of them, like 350 games at this point. And I do enjoy it. I really, really do enjoy working on video games. It's an amazing thing. And it's also opened up the art form for motion capture, which is something I'm not into, but a lot of my friends are really into that. And it sort of fulfills that theatrical sensibility where they actually do get to go through the blocking and the motions and sometimes do their own stunts. I'm old, I don't have time for that stuff, and I don't want to memorize lines, so I'm just lazy.
We've spoken with a few voice actors who were really, they like went into the business with a drive to play a particular character, or they've always aspired to voice a particular character. Is there one that you would just be dying to do, and you don't have to spoil anything if it gets you in trouble, but is there any particular character you would love to see yourself voicing?
Nothing in my career has been on purpose, honestly, other than just doing a good job and getting hired. And I'm so surprised that I get hired for the roles that I am hired for, that I kind of live in that present tense state and am just grateful for the now. I don't think about the characters that I haven't voiced. The only character, and I brought this up before in panels, that I thought I would have been right for, just because of where my voice print is naturally, would have been Batman. But then I hear somebody like Kevin Conroy do it, and it's like, no, he's my Batman. And Troy Baker did an amazing version of it, and Roger Craig Smith did an amazing version of it. So even if I got to play those roles, I'd be doing something different, but not necessarily better. And all of my friends are playing them anyway. So I don't really jones for what I haven't done. I'm just grateful for what I have.
Well, Steve, we want to thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming to Tidewater.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for having me come to Tidewater. And the staff has been amazing here. The fans have been incredible. It was an amazing weekend. Amazing weekend. I'm bringing home a lot of really good memories. So thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you again.
All right. Thank you. Peace.